Alrighty. This right here is what we dealt with last time with the whole Pearl Harbor thing. Okay, so you can see where you're at. And we're going to start here because after the Pearl Harbor attack, we do declare war the very next day, and we're trying to get mobilized and ready to go. We do the Doolittle raids just to remind Japan, hey, we're coming. But for the most part, Japan is just kicking butt. And even once we get there, okay, once we're there and we're like ready to go, Japan's kicking our butt. It's not pretty. Until this right here, Midway. If you look at this again, Hawaii is right here. Okay, Midway's here. Midway Island is midway between America and the what is this, Asia. Okay, so Midway is an island, all right, and intelligence spies told us that Japan was coming. Okay, that she was on her way to come get Midway. We even knew from which direction and kind of sort of when. So we were able to prepare. Okay, this shouldn't be hard to remember. Midway, it's called the turning point of the war. Midway, turning point. Japan was doing well up until Midway, which is the turning point. And then not so much. We start beating them. How? Well, at Midway, at the Battle of Midway, we're like, that was my fighting thing, and we're able to beat them. Guys, we destroy like all of their aircraft carriers. That's a problem when you have a Pacific island empire. And it's a problem when our gas tanks and our airplanes don't go so far. That's a problem. They lost a lot of people, but more importantly was the aircraft carriers. They were like, "Oh crap! How do we get our airplanes? Like from what do we do?" And we were like, "Yeah, what do you do?" So that's kind of the turning point. Okay, from this point on, Japan isn't going to push out anymore. They're going to stay in because, like in this right here, because they can't. They don't have any aircraft carriers. They can't attack this far out. Hawaii, Midway, stuff like that. Okay. That being said, our general over here in the Pacific Theater, his name is Douglas. Where is it? There it is. Douglas MacArthur. Sorry. Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur has an idea. It's called island hopping. There he is. General Douglas MacArthur. Well, his idea is real simple. We're going to start here, let's say. I don't know where we actually started. Well, maybe here. I don't know, whatever. But we're going to start somewhere, okay? And we're just going to start hopping from island to island. Except we're going to actually take the islands that Japan doesn't have a big military presence on first. I'm just making this up. Let's say, I'm not making up island hopping, but let's say that I was looking for one that y'all might have heard of. Well, sorry, whatever. Let's say that Japan has a really, really big military presence here on this island, but not this one or this one. Okay, we don't attack this one yet. We go to this island and get a hold of this. And then we go to this island and get a hold of this. Then we send troops from this island here and this island here and down here. Okay. We're taking islands that they don't have a big military presence from, and then we're attacking scary islands from all different directions. Good idea? Yeah, absolutely. It's working really well too. We're doing pretty good. And then we get to the battle, I hate this word, of Guadalcanal. Guadal. 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 It's just a weird word. Guadalcanal. It's in the south. There we go. I found it. It's right down here. Okay. All these islands here, yeah. The Battle of Guadalcanal, it's bad for the Japanese. I don't know if I put the actual number that they lost. Nope, I just put 2/3. Sorry. By the way, I just glanced at it. Look, it's another really long, really hard fought battle. September to February. That being said, Japan loses a ridiculous amount of troops, 2/3. But I didn't write the actual number, so I don't know what it is. But I mean, compared to like again the numbers in Germany, it's only probably thousands, but it's still pretty bad. This our win at these islands down here, oh, down here, it's going to start Japan's retreat back to Japan. They lose so many troops that they can't keep a hold of all of these islands. They don't have enough troops. So their emperor calls them back, or the general. I don't even know who it is now because Hideki Tojo does. He steps down. The exact reason, I don't know. Maybe he, because of this, I don't remember. I just know that he steps down and they have somebody new. So they call their troops back, okay, and they start the retreat back to Japan. We start going even like more island hopping, boing, 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 and it's faster for us now, okay? Okay. We eventually get control of all the islands. And all that's left is Japan herself. Okay, do you remember when we talked about the samurai and I talked to you about seppuku? The did I talk about it? Or did I have it in your documents? I don't remember. I don't remember. But either way, the samurai, the seppuku is the ritualized suicide. That if they dishonor themselves or their family or their country or whatever, they'd rather commit suicide because that's how they get their honor back. Well, it's at this point that that whole kamikaze thing really gets started. As we're getting closer to Japan, like our military is moving closer to Japan, okay? We're starting to have kamikaze attacks where people are just taking their airplane, boom, straight into our ships. And they're using the airplanes like bombs, like they did at 9/11. Not the Japanese, but like, what's their name, did it at 9/11. They use the airplane like a bomb. Well, that's a problem for us. They're sinking our ships and stuff, killing our people and stuff. And because of that honor that they feel like they need to get back, they're not going to stop. Our government and our military leaders, our generals, are very concerned about actually invading Japan itself for two main reasons. Well, I guess three if you think about it. The first obvious reason is civilian deaths. I mean, nobody wants civilian deaths, unless you're Adolf Hitler. We don't try to kill civilians, guys. But I'm sorry. It's more concerning that the Japanese won't surrender, that the Japanese are willing to fight for the death because fighting for the death keeps their honor. Well, that means more of our boys might die. It's hard because we're not in a discussion situation this way, like video. But whenever we talk about this, there's always some kid somewhere who's like, oh, that's bad. You should care more about the civilians than you do your own military. Sorry. I get it. I do. I see what you're saying. The women, the children of Japan, they don't have anything to do with this. They shouldn't be involved. Except my uncle was in the Navy. My grandfather was a cook in the Navy. My great uncle actually was on the Indianapolis. The Indianapolis is the ship that took the atomic bombs over. And then it was the ship that sank. And everybody got eaten by sharks. But not my great uncle. He lived. In fact, he's still alive today. He's like 90 something. I don't want civilians in Japan to be killed either. But knowing that my family members were there, again, this is one of those hard historical things. How would I feel back then? I don't know, because we're not in that position. It's easy for us to be like, oh, civilians were there. I know. And I feel terrible for them. But I'm glad that members of my family got to come back home. That being said, somebody has an idea. They approach our brand new president. Wait, what? What happened to FDR? FDR died not too, I'd have to look at his actual death date, but not too soon before this. And the new president at this point, where is it? Here he is Harry Truman. Be careful, this is on the vocab quiz. Kids always spell Truman wrong. Why? They put an E in there. Truman. Harry Truman. He's our new president. FDR is the one that died of polio. Kids always seem to know that. There he is. And bless his heart, I feel kind of sorry for him. He takes over as president and then boom, has to make this decision. What decision? That one. And it's not a decision that he made quickly. This is a hard decision to make. Do we drop atomic bombs, bombs that the world has never seen before, on civilians? Or do I send my own boys in to a country where they're not going to surrender anytime soon? What do I do? This is a hard decision, and I just can't imagine being Harry Truman, having like becoming president, and then boom, you got to make this decision. Ouch. Not good. It's just hard both ways. Like if you think about decisions historical, like in the past, and we do this all the time, like what would you do? I don't know. He does eventually decide to drop the atomic bombs because he doesn't want any more American lives to be lost. It's not that he doesn't care about the Japanese. They're not his people. This sounds terrible and this sounds harsh, but at the end of the day, he's the US president. And his responsibility is to the US people. It sounds awful and it sounds harsh and it sounds terrible. But the Japanese civilians were seen as the responsibility of their government. What a hard decision. Speaking of the atomic bomb, The idea of the atomic bomb had been out there for a while. Several countries were trying to make an atomic bomb at the same time. Us and Germany had already like, if we do ours first, it's for America. It's a good thing. Um, but Germany was working on an atomic bomb at the same time. The guy that is working on the atomic bomb with the rest of the guys, you know him. Good old Albert Einstein. Yeah, you have to know this quote. It's been in my classroom all year. It's the picture, that I painted that everybody thinks looks like Rick and Morty. Yeah, it's that one. But it's Einstein. He says, I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. What does that mean? He says, we have this atomic weapon. And he says, I've seen what it does. Guys, the very first, oh, I can't switch. The very first atomic bomb to actually go off was in New Mexico. Um, it was the testing place. And they looked at what it was like before and they looked at what it was like after. And it's not like there were people there. Okay. I'm sure some lizards died or whatever, but chill. But they blow it up there and then see the destruction and they're like, oh my. In fact, Albert Einstein doesn't really want atomic bombs to be used. And that's what this quote is saying. He says, oh my gosh, you guys, if we use this technology in World War II, think about what horrible technology will come out in World War III. Because World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. So what he's saying is World War III will be so bad that it'll blow us back to like prehistoric time. So World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones like it was in the past. He helps create this with his, what is it, theory of relativity. And then he is not a fan of it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want it used. Again, Harry Truman agonizes over it. It's not a quick idea. It's not like they said, hey, we have a bomb and let's blow people up. And he was like, yeah, kill them all. This decision took time. In fact, he sends word to Japan. He says, hey, Japan, we have this weapon. You've heard of it. Other countries were working on it too. I think Russia was working on one. I don't know. I don't think Japan was. But I think Russia was. Like countries were working on this technology. And he said, hey, that thing? We have it. It works. We know how, like we got it. Before and after. And we've already picked which city is going to be first if you don't surrender. You have this many days. We didn't hear anything from Japan. Just total radio silence. They didn't say, okay, yes. They didn't say, bite me and go away. Just nothing. When you make a threat like that as a leader, you have to make good on it. I'm not a fan of the atomic bombs, you guys, either, although some of you probably are. But some of you are like, oh, they're so horrible. Yeah. What do you do? I don't know. The first city has already been chosen. There's different ways you're going to hear people say this. You'll hear people say Hiroshima or Hiroshima. And then the other city was chosen too. You'll hear people say Nagasaki or Nagasaki. Okay, look at the population of both. 365,000 at Hiroshima, 200,000-ish at Nagasaki. Guys, Midland is about 120,000. Okay? These are bigger cities than us, definitely. Why not just bomb Tokyo and be done with it? Guys, they're not trying to murder every Japanese person. They're also not trying to kill Japan. If they had bombed Tokyo, not only would the lives be, oh my gosh. I mean, the deaths are terrible as it is, but Tokyo, it would have been just, oh, I can't even imagine the numbers. But on top of that, their entire economy would have been totally flattened. And you're not trying to destroy the whole country. You're trying to get them to stop fighting. So we pick a city that's big enough that it's going to hurt, but that isn't so big that it destroys everything. Now, you also can't pick a city like Stanton. No offense. You need a big enough city, but not too big. I mean, imagine if, I don't know, some big deal city. Golly, look at my arm. That's where the dog bit me. Demon. Holy cow. Okay, anyway, but you need a big enough city, but not too big. So the first bomb goes off sometime. I don't remember the date. It's August, I think. Oh, I haven't finished uploading those. August 6th. So that means the other one is August 9th, right? Yeah, because it's 3 days later. Okay, so anyway, August 6th. Hey, I was right about it being August. Yes. Okay, so we dropped the bomb. Okay, look. Where you see right here, 75,000. And then you see right here, 35,000. I'm sorry, 37,000. That's not how many died. That's killed on impact. That means they were there 1 second, they were gone the next. They were dead, they were gone. The radiation poisoning and the fallout is going to kill a lot more people later. Not only just radiation poisoning, fallout, all that kind of stuff, but explosions, like secondary explosions. Because I don't know, something got thrown into a gas something and the gas thing blew up. So you have all these secondary explosions too. So yes, these numbers right here are on impact. 75,000, 37,000 dead immediately. And let's talk about that too. There's nothing left of you. This is hard for kids to get. If an atomic bomb went off right here in this house, right now, nothing is left. Nothing. There's no body. There's no jewelry. This big old giant thing. There's none of it. None of it. None of it. None of it's left. Nothing is left. It's gone. Because what you do with the atomic bomb, and I always forget which one's which. Fuse. So fission pulls apart, fusion puts together. Okay, we're talking atoms. So what these bombs do is they pull your atoms apart. If I'm made up of atoms and somebody suddenly pulls all of my atoms apart, I'm just gone. And kids are always like, where'd you go? You're gone. There's not an ear. You're just gone. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. This is the Hiroshima bomb. When we say on impact, do you see like the bombs blow up like here? They don't actually, or here. right here. They don't actually like go to the ground and blow up on the ground. They blow up in the air. And then they have that mushroom cloud thing, and then they shoot a plume straight down. The plume that they shoot straight down is on impact. And then when they hit this plume down, it shoom, hits the ground and goes out. On impact here, there's going to be nothing. And then where it shoots out, you're going to have some destruction left because it's not pulling apart the atoms here. It's gone down and like windows are being shot out and like buildings are throwing away, like being thrown around, and it's just chaos. It's just crazy. The the Nagasaki bomb is 3 days later because after Hiroshima, we send word to Japan and we're like, so we told you. Do you surrender? And we heard nothing. Now, maybe we heard nothing because they were being defiant. Or maybe we heard nothing because they were trying to figure out what the crap just happened. I don't know. But we didn't hear anything. So 3 days later, we dropped another one. I've heard people say 3 days is not right. We should have waited longer. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Hindsight's 2020. We didn't. This is the Nagasaki bomb. This right here is what's going to be on impact, 37-ish thousand. And then there's a whole bunch of destruction pictures so you can see what's left. Guys, these were cities that were bigger than Midland. And look, I mean, again, like, how do you even clean that up? And not only cleaning up the city, but the radiation. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, okay. Okay. Bye, be careful. I can't move the picture. Gosh darn it. There we go. Isn't it weird how, like, nothing? Building. Nothing. Building. Maybe this over here was on impact and this wasn't. I don't know. I don't know enough about like the physics of it. But I have a lot of pictures. That is so crazy to me. Look at this. How do you clean this up? This is a famous one. You always see this picture when you Google. You see this one a lot. And all that water is poisonous now. Not now, today. I don't think. I don't know. But I really don't know. What do I Google? See, look at this. These bombs, despite being relatively weak when compared to modern nuclear weapons, that's scary. The short answer to this question is no. They are not radioactive anymore. When did that happen? Possibly a few weeks. The effects lasted for about 4 months. Okay. Why is Chernobyl? We're going to talk about Chernobyl later. Yeah, I was going to say it's nuclear. I already know that answer. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So yeah, they're not still radioactive. That's just crazy. After the Nagasaki bomb, oh, this one's little, sorry. After that bomb, we do hear back from Japan, and they do unconditionally surrender. Oh, you can see the burns on his body. I don't know, dead or alive. I don't know. I assume alive because his arm's up. These kind of scars. Oh, I can't make this picture bigger. Sorry. Those kind of scars are interesting. Um, Keloid, I think is what they're called. Radiation burns are different from like a fire burn. And okay, I had second and third degree burns on my hand. Can you believe like I don't have any scars? Right down here, it was like this. All right here. Wait, hold on. All right here. And then up. Second and third degrees on my right hand. What had happened was, I was cooking something and I dropped something in the oven and I reached in to pick it up and I touched the heating element. You know the part of the oven that gets red? Oops. But it wasn't red at the time. Duh. But I had preheated the oven. Anyway, I don't know that I have felt pain that bad except for one of my surgeries. That hurts so bad. See, here's the thing. With a fire burn, like what I had here, we kept my hand wrapped, right? I was in college, okay? So we kept my hand wrapped, and multiple times a day, we would unwrap it and we would put this like burn cream on top of it, okay? And the burn cream would soothe it. And I was like, oh, for like, 1 hour. And then it would just start hurting. And the hurt was like just terrible pain. And then we'd unwrap it and we put burn cream on it. And I was like, oh, and it would soothe it. Because these kind of burns heal from the inside out. So you can still continue putting like medicine and stuff on top to make it feel better, right? Not that kind of radiation burn. That kind of radiation burn, and why the difference, I don't know, you guys. But that kind of radiation burn heals the outside of the skin, heals first. The inside still continues to burn and hurt and that freaking hurt. Second and third degree burns. So bad. And I can't remember, or I can't imagine having the top healed and scarred over. I actually think my skin feels different over here. I do. Anyway, but I can't imagine having the top like healed and scarred over so that I can't put any medicine on it, but the bottom underneath the other layers of skin just still burning. Oof. Well, regardless, World War II ends. And we write a Treaty of Versailles all over again, right? No. We're going to help Germany clean up and rebuild. We're going to help Japan clean up and rebuild. Because we learned our lesson after World War I, and we really didn't want a World War III 20 years later. You don't just go blow up a country and then be like, see ya. Because that just makes people mad. You help them rebuild. And that's what we did. All right, guess what, man? We're done. Whole unit finished. Woo! Bye. Oh, hey, test tomorrow. Unless I canceled it, which you would know from class or emails. Bye, guys.